Good morning, everybody, and welcome out to the Dice Towers Board Game Breakfast. I'm Chris Yi.
I'm Wendy Yi.
And I'm Eric Summerer. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to one, good morning to all. Folks, we got a couple of very exciting things going on. Well, this week is a fairly normal week. There will be most of the normal live streams that we do, a top 10 list this week, top 10 travel games, and then, the crowd surfing, the normal type of shows, including this one, Board Game Breakfast. But next week, 1 week from this day, 1 week from this very hour, 1 week from this very minute.
It's going to be a spectacular week.
Yes. It's the Dice Tower Spring Spectacular.
Eric, are we going to be there?
Oh, we'll be there. Or we'll be square. Oh.
I vote square.
Can I be square and there? Because I'm technically in a square right now, and that is where I'll be and how I'll be.
Actually,
Yes.
I think it is technically a rectangle. I've not measured all the sides perfectly. It is more square than ours, but
Every rectangle's a square
it's
mathematically,
a little
right?
bit tall.
I'm measuring.
See?
Seems
See,
square
not
to
quite a
me.
square.
This is the scientific accuracy you can expect from the Dice Tower.
That's right.
So the Spring Spectacular, lots of games, lots of top 10 lists. There'll be a big top 10 list Monday through Wednesday. And then we're also going to be sprinkling in little individual top 10 lists.
Like
throughout.
glitter. Or
Like
sprinkles.
Like litter?
Like glitter.
Oh, glitter.
Like litter. I just
that's one of
sprinkle my
mine.
litter around.
I'm one of those top 10 lists sprinkled like glitter, so you just called
Who
me
are
glitter.
you?
Yes.
Yeah, do
I've
you
got a
have
top
topic?
10 push your luck games that I am producing right now and rushing to get into Chris's hands so it can be scheduled for the spectacular.
Oh, fantastic. You're the best, Eric.
Around.
All right, so yeah, we've got a couple other things that'll be coming this week, obviously. But before we get into the show proper, we'd like to thank our sponsor for this episode. Board Game Breakfast is sponsored by Grip Mat, who makes customized play mats. So let's go ahead and take a look. This show is sponsored by Grip Mat, who makes custom play mats for many of your favorite games. With their custom grip surface, you can keep cards and tiles in place without worrying about messing up the gameplay. Or you can get one without the grip surface if you just want a great-looking mat. Whether sprucing up a hot new title or an old classic, consider picking up a grip mat in the Etsy link below.
Beard here with Rolling with the Beard. I just love the textile nature of board games. And I especially love it when a game has really nice components. Yes, they won't save a terrible game, but they can really elevate the overall experience. Now, I don't know who Sue was or what she did or didn't do to inherit the title Lazy Susan, but I do know that I absolutely love the implementation of her invention, the Lazy Susan, in the game Planet Unknown. Planet Unknown is a Tetris piece drafting game.
Actually, Tetris pieces only have 4 squares.
Sorry, a polyomino drafting game. And players will be drafting pieces and adding them onto their own planet board to move up tracks and hopefully score points by completing in rows and columns. During the game, the active player will turn the Lazy Susan to an orientation in which they will draft one of 2 pieces that are in front of them. Now, all the other players at the table will choose one of the 2 pieces that is in front of them. So in Planet Unknown, not only does the Lazy Susan look cool and help keep the game organized, it actually serves a vital purpose and is actually a core part of the game. And off the top of my head, I can't really think of any other board games that utilize a Lazy Susan in this fashion. The Lazy Susan is definitely the star of the show in Planet Unknown, and it is also Beard's component of the week. Congratulations, Susan, or Planet Unknown, or Adam's Apple Games. That thing is just super cool. I love it.
It is time for our Eye Catchers segment where we all discuss something that has, well, what do you know, caught our eye over the past couple of weeks. And I get to lead things off today with a game that is making a return. There is an upcoming crowdfunding campaign. This is not on Kickstarter. It's, I think, on BackerKit. For a game called Valley of the Kings, which is a Tom Cleaver design. It's existed in a couple of iterations over the years. AEG published it as a small box card game, which then got released in a couple of expansions, standalone expansions, that could then be folded into the main game or played on their own. And then a few years ago, AEG released a premium edition. I have to be very careful with the language here. A premium edition of the game that included tarot-sized cards, a bunch of card sleeves, really, tricked out edition. But apparently, AEG was not willing to continue with the production of this game, and Tom Cleaver designed a new expansion and didn't have anywhere to put it. And so he and a new board game publisher, sort of traditionally an RPG publisher, this is under a new banner, are releasing this Ultimate Edition of Valley of the Kings. Valley of the Kings is a deck-building game that uses a cool pyramid drafting system where you grab something from the lower level of the pyramid, things collapse, and cards in your hand don't score, cards in your deck don't score until you entomb them. So you have this whole process of building up your deck to be useful, but then systematically destroying it so that you can actually score points for the cards. Really interesting system, great game, and it's delightful to see it in a new edition. The reason I wanted to highlight it, though, is one, if you're interested and don't have any edition of Valley of the Kings, this can be a great way to jump in and get the whole shebang, because this has got all the expansions in it. However, where I'm worried is that they are offering, you can see in that little side box up there, the archaeology expansion, which is the new content. And everyone that I've seen talking about this is like, can I just get the new stuff? Because if you're already a fan of the game, you may have the premium edition or the original edition of the game. Can I just get archaeology? And they're like, sure, yeah, no problem. But it's a brand new publisher working probably with new manufacturing equipment. Plus, it's been a few years since the original edition, so print fades. And so I don't know if those cards are going to match with the cards from the original game. And that's my one worry about backing this at this point. But if you don't have anything for Valley of the Kings, this looks to be a direct port of the premium edition from a few years ago. Same art. It's a gorgeous edition of the game and a great game to boot. So, well worth a look, and it has caught my eye. Have you two played Valley of the Kings?
We played Valley of the Kings, the first or the second standalone expansion only.
Oh,
I don't even remember this.
We didn't love it because it was, that particular one was a very interactive expansion, and it was a lot of, so you have like 6 cards in the display, right, in the pyramid, and there was a lot of like messing with that and be like, oh, my opponent clearly wants that card. Blech. And so, yeah, it was a tad bit more mean in a deck
Probably
building game than we
exacerbated
wanted.
at 2 players as well.
Very likely, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was our only experience with this game, but I've heard for years really great things about it. And obviously the new edition, the recent, what did you call it? The premium edition?
Premium edition. This is the Ultimate Edition. I don't know what's beyond that, if they do anything beyond that.
Titanium?
Yes.
Platinum Deluxe.
Ultimate Glory. Yeah.
Yes. Moon crystals.
Moon Crystal Edition.
Ooh. Okay, I like that.
Adamantium.
Yeah.
I'm gonna release a game. There'll be no previous editions, and I'll just call it the Moon Crystal Platinum Deluxe Edition.
You know what I want to do is I want to release like 4 different series of games, switch up all of those words on every single one, and see if anybody notices.
Oh, your Queen games. Got it.
They'll notice. They will.
That's interesting. I wonder if the sleeves will help with that concern about mixing new and prior.
They should, at least for as long as, again, the sleeves are comparable. The premium edition came with sleeves for the game, and they promised that this edition will as well. So do those sleeves match? Are they going to have a similar texture and thickness and all of that?
But also, sleeves wear way faster than even cards do, I feel like.
So
then
I mean,
you
you could certainly replace them with a set of tarot sleeves, and they should all match pretty well. Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
work. Yeah, but it is always kind of weird. We have a Sushi Go promo that is just a totally different shade of red. It's more burgundy than red. And it's like, so
We know
sad.
that's coming. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what that hand has.
Yep.
Exactly. Yep. All right. Well, cool, though. I mean, yeah, I do want to try the basic cards to this game because I've heard such good things about it that clearly I might be missing out on something good here.
Well,
It
I think
is in the
that
Dice Tower library, I believe, unless
was
it's
this
been
one?
removed.
The premium edition is in there. Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Well, then I guess we have to at some point.
It's the law.
Add it to the list. There's only like 7,000 games on that list.
Yeah.
It will happen.
Maybe we
Get
could talk
another
about
one.
it's old enough to be old school at this point. We could schedule a plan to make this happen.
We could.
Good point.
Hey, chat, do you like that idea? Let us know.
Do you know that kids these days are referring to like their friends and other human beings in the same room as them as chat?
Yes.
Have you heard that, Eric?
No.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a
People are like,
thing.
hey, chat, what do you? Yeah, you're like, hey, chat. Should we
Oh
go
no,
to
no,
the
no,
store
no!
together?
It hurts
Yeah.
my brain and I don't like it. No.
Kids these days.
Oh, my goodness. It's trippy. Trippy as all get out. All right, is it me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm really excited about this. So my eye catcher is Micro Macro Kids. So I have loved the Micro Macro games. The artwork, the map, the whole concept behind it is fabulous. That you are looking at this Where's Waldo picture that's giant and takes up your entire table, and you're trying to figure out, where's the dead body, and then, where's the crime that happened, and then I follow it back in time across the map to see who did it and what their motivations were and all that kind of stuff. And one of the things with Micro Macro is that you're never quite sure if there's going to be something in a scenario that is not kid appropriate. Like we even grabbed one that was supposed to be kid appropriate, and then there was clearly an affair going on. And so I was like, okay, how do I explain to my 6-year-old like why this guy wanted to kill his wife because of an affair? And so I'm excited about this one because it's supposed to be much more kid friendly. It has a flip book instead of cards so that kids aren't going to, lose all the pieces and then suddenly you can't find stuff. It also has these green tokens that are see-through, these little like tiddlywink kind of things, so that you can highlight the pieces and the players so that the kids can focus in a little bit more. That's something we already do with like random spare cube pieces. We're like, okay, this guy was here and here and here, so you can kind of see that visual. And then there's also bonus content. So online, you can actually go in and you can get more scenarios. So I think it comes with 20 or 22 or something like that. So it comes with a significant amount, but then there's more online that you can get later. So I think it's really cool. It's something that we've played with our daughter a ton. And so having a more specified kids version that doesn't necessarily look easier. It just looks like the stories are going to be more kid friendly and more interesting to children.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite games, and it's certainly my favorite of all of like the detective genre of games.
Yeah.
As the escape rooms, detective, all that stuff. I just really like this one.
Yeah, it's a solid system. I've only played a few of the designs, but it's a lot of fun. That Where's Waldo searching and the ordering of the events. Like you find the thing you're looking for, but then you have to search for where in the sequence is this picture? Yeah. Is this the beginning of their story? Is this the middle? Is this the end? And trying to spread out that search radius and figure out where they came from and what happened in between. That's really a fun game. Fun system.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one I'm excited about. I think it comes out the end of April. So there's pre-orders and stuff going on right now.
Okie doke.
Yep.
Sounds great. All right. My eye catcher for the week here is a game from one of my favorite designers, Paolo Mori, co-designed with Alessandro Zucchini, and this is Toy Battle. So Toy Battle is a 2-player head-to-head game where you are basically placing out your little pieces here onto a map, and you're trying to either take over your opponent's base or you're trying to surround all of the bases around these star tokens, these victory points.
Yeah.
So
Medals,
you either win
they call
by
them.
hitting. I'm sorry?
They call them medals.
Medals. That's the
Oh.
term. Yeah. Have you played this, Eric?
I was just this morning invited to a game on Board Game Arena, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll play a new game, and so I'm just learning this now. So that's all I know. Those are called medals.
Those are medals. Funny you should
Like you
mention
can
that.
play on BGA.
I just clicked through the Board Game Arena tutorial this morning, and so it'll teach you exactly how to play the game. So your actions are either draw 2 troops, and these are your troops down here. Whoops, people can't see that. You either have troops on the bench, or you can deploy troops out, and they all have like an effect. When you place them out, they do a thing. And so, yeah, you just place out there, and you're trying to either connect a chain all the way and take over your opponent's base, or you're trying to collect enough medals to win. And I think that sounds like a really clean system. I love Paolo Mori's designs. Alessandro Zucchini, his co-designer here, is most known for Mord Imorosa, which is a goofy game about...
Oh, that's the tower, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the tower one where you're trying to guess... What do you remember, Eric, what it is? You're trying to guess how far down
Right, you drop a cube down this cube tower, and then you're trying to figure out how far down they went.
Yeah. So clearly someone who's worked in like kind of the silly design space before. So I'm very excited about this one. I'm going to be probably playing Toy Battle on Board Game Arena, but also I'm looking forward to getting a physical copy because, you know what I mean? If this is like a cutesier version of kind of like Blitzkrieg or Caesar or those types of games that Palomari's done, then I'm all in. This is fantastic sounding.
You know what this makes me think of is the Mario Rabbids video game.
Yes.
Got the little slots that you put your dudes in, you move them around. Yeah.
Have you played that one, Eric?
Mario, I've heard. No, I think my kids have it, but I haven't played it.
It's
cute.
Yeah, it's like a turn-based tactical battler. People basically say like, "Wait a minute, is this Super Mario XCOM?" And
or Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. But anyway, yeah, I'm very excited about, and I love this theme. These like goofy little toys fighting each other. The T-Rex that shoots out lava fireballs and stuff.
Oh man, if they could have gotten the Toy Story theme, that would have been amazing.
That's true.
Like if they had gotten that IP. Oh.
I mean, that could always happen later. That's what happened with the Harry Potter deck building game. It became a Toy Story game. So anything can become Toy Story eventually.
That's true. That's true. I want Micro Macro to finally release Micro Macro Gotham or make Micro Macro Gotham City. I think that'd be amazing.
That'd be so cool.
The Batman
or
themed
Micro
version of
Macro Micro Machines.
Eric, you can't give away all the good ideas.
Is it just all robots?
Transformers. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, if you had to follow Optimus Prime, right? And he's in bot mode for a bit. You're like, where did he go? Wait a minute, that's a truck.
Man.
Okay. All right. We should keep moving on before we give away all of the good
All
ideas.
of the good ideas.
And publishers make money off of our genius. All right, well, there you go. Those are our catchers.
Hi, I'm Rich Saunders, and welcome to Co-op Gestalt, a place to talk about cooperative games, cooperative game mechanisms, and sometimes solo games. This week, I just got back from Dice Tower West, and boy, are my arms tired. Wait, that joke doesn't make sense because I drove. Anyway, I had a great time. I met so many great people and played so many great games with a bunch of new people I met. There was Dan, Sierra, Betsy, Trisha, Charles, Stephen, Rosalie, and Joe, and my old friends Becca and Kurt. Now, if I forgot to mention somebody I played a game with, feel free to mock me mercilessly in the comments below. Now, one game that came just before I went to Dice Tower West was my Santorini collection. This is the base game, which is competitive, as many of you might know, but it also included Santorini, The Riddle of the Sphinx. This is an expansion that makes it the game solo and cooperative. I was really excited just before I went to Dice Tower West. I played it solo, learned it. I'm like, hey, maybe I can get someone to play with me at Dice Tower West. And I met a really nice fellow named Charles who we played together. Now, I have to admit there was a little bit of trepidation because I normally have a game group, which is, I've played with them for many years and we trust and respect each other. It's usually very easy to get cooperative games out. Now, going to a convention where you don't know anyone, sometimes you worry about playing a cooperative game. Is this going to be the alpha player? Is this going to be a bad experience? So something happened which I've never done before. Before Charles and I sat down and played the game, we talked about it. Said, hey, let's try to avoid the alpha player. Let's try to support each other. And so by actually talking about the alpha player, we actually had a wonderful time. Now, to be fair, Charles was a really nice guy and I wasn't really worried about it in the first place, but this is a solution I've never seen to the alpha player problem. Talk about it beforehand. Has this solution worked for you before? Please let me know in the comments below. But that's it for me. I'm glad to be back from Dice Tower West. I had a wonderful time. Take care, everybody. Oh, by the way, I got to shake Chris Yi's hand. He's a real person. He really is.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to my segment, A Board Game in 1,000 Pieces. So today, I won't show you a specific board game puzzle. I will show you my advent calendar, which I did last year. We've got 24 board games on this one. So I got these from Spieleoffensive, which is a pretty big online store for board games in Germany, and they have a sister shop, which is Puzzleoffensive. So if you went to Essen, you might recognize them because they have a booth there. And yeah, I will show you the time-lapse how I did it. That was fun. you very much for watching my segment. If you want to see more puzzle stuff I do, you can head over to my channel, Sue Burgundy Puzzle, or find me on Instagram. And have a happy breakfast.
All right, we are on to the top 10 for today. And today we're going to talk about the top 10 games that we want a nice, like, Kickstarter Deluxeified style reprint of. And I have to say, when I first started doing this, I started thinking way over the top, and I started going with, like, crazy over intense Deluxeify, like that $1,000 Small World, edition. So then I reined it back in, and I actually followed the rules.
Yeah,
there's all sorts of Deluxeification out there.
Yeah, I was like, things that I don't actually even want, but I'd just be like, that'd be cool to see at a convention. So I went a little over the top. That could be another top 10.
That could be.
Honestly.
Side note, another top 10. Top 10 game covers we would love is puzzles.
Yes.
Watching Sue's segment there.
Oh.
That was
I actually have a Feast for Odin as a puzzle that I put together and hangs on our wall. That makes me happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right, so
this
as
is
a reminder,
tough. Yeah, go for it.
As a reminder, with our top 10 in the chat, share your number one answer, and then I get to scroll through later and decide who was correct.
Mike Keller's already ahead of the curve there.
Thanks, Mike. Also, put all the games out that I like, basically. This is going to be a tough one to pick the number one answer for.
Oh, I know.
There's so many good games out there.
You're in for a world of hurt.
Yep. Okay, I'm going to start off with Istanbul. So this is a game that I love, and it has kind of a dual layer aspect to the little wagon cart that you have, where you can get little additions and you tuck them in. But I've always wished that it would be extra dual layer, like almost a triple layer, where you tuck those in and then each one of the spots has a little place for your cube to sit. Because sometimes when I'm moving a cube, I bump another cube. And so I just want like nice triple dual layer board effect going on there, right? And then I also think it would be really awesome if each one of those tiles that you lay out was thicker so that the rubies could have a little inset that they also could sit on so that, if you accidentally brush a sleeve against it, it's less likely to roll. And it just feels fancier and feels nicer. And the last thing I want to add to this is when you are moving your discs around in the stacks, I think it would be really cool to have like miniatures, almost like Ethnos has, where they stack really nicely so that you could pick up the whole stack easily and move them, and they kind of like slot into each other. So I think it could be a really cool addition.
That would be neat. And yeah, the stacking, I'm always knocking over all of my assistants as I'm trying to move the big stack around. So that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. It's so funny though, because I love this game as is, but that's probably the best. That would be the best feature, I think.
Yeah, just the stackable nature of it.
Yeah.
And then it would, I feel with all of this, it would reinvigorate these fabulous games that are starting to get old.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I think that was sort of the goal with this list. When Chris introduced it to us, he said, a la what is happening with Quacks right now with the new edition, with new art and the concept of this maybe isn't selling as well in the North American market, so let's do something to sort of reinvigorate it and introduce it to a new audience, which was where I was headed with this. I actually ran into a number of roadblocks as I wrote down things and said, ooh, Power Grid would do really well. Oh, wait, they did a deluxe edition of Power Grid. And I like all of these suggestions I had that, they've done that already. So I'm going to begin with a pretty recent edition that I think could use some tender loving care because I think folks have passed it by. It's a game called Helionox Chronicles, which is
have passed this by.
There you go. So it is a cooperative game or solo game where you're trying to defeat a big presence that is moving around from planet to planet doing nasty things. It's a deck building game, very complex deck building game, but also action selection game. You only have so many actions on a turn, but you can keep going. But every time you keep going, you roll dice, which does nasty things. And so it's sort of a push your luck. Can I do enough good stuff to mitigate the bad stuff that's going to happen if I keep playing? Really neat system here. It's not great in production-wise. Even though they tried to do a deluxe Kickstarter version, there are tokens that don't fit on the board, deluxe tokens that don't fit. There's misprints. The box is just a little too small. So it like the cards don't fit in the box the
It
way...
also looks like a weird shape. Is it as boxy as it looks? Is the box as
That
boxy
box
as it
doesn't
looks?
look like the size box. Maybe that's what they intended to do, and what
Okay.
they got was basically a Ticket to Ride size box, but a
Okay.
little thinner, so that if you stand, you're supposed to be able to sort the cards by scenario, and the divider cards are the same size as the regular cards, so therefore useless, and the cards barely fit. It's a bunch of little things that this game is better than the production makes it out to be. So I would love to see another pass on Healing in Ox Chronicles so that it can reach an audience. That's the number 9.
And honestly, that cover, as striking as it is, it doesn't really tell me anything that's going on. You know what I mean? Like, things like that would make me kind of gloss over it.
Yes. There's a lot of lore in this box. It's an existing universe. It's one of those things that they're trying to stay true to a universe that maybe most people don't even realize exists. And so it could maybe use another pass that introduces new people to the system.
Wow, interesting. Wendy, you are only the second person I've heard to describe a box as boxy before.
Oh, I'm not the first? Yes.
But there was the time in a review that Tom says, I forget what game we're reviewing. It was, this box is about the size of a box. And just straight face continues on from that sentence.
Oh.
Oy. All right. Number 8, starting with me here. A game that, Eric, I did not adhere to your Power Grid-esque rigidity in the fact that a 10-year anniversary edition of St. Petersburg did already come out.
Yeah, it did. And it was worse.
And I
Well,
think it's actually worse than the first edition.
Oh, it is. It really is.
But St. Petersburg is approaching 20 years of existence on God's green earth, and I think that it should look sort of nicer than that, at least. This is the second pass they had at this game. Part of the problem...
Good.
Yeah. Woo! Modern to the T. Part of the problem, too, is that the art style in the original edition is like pencil sketch, right? Almost looks like Ascension, right? But they didn't do it on like high school lined paper, unlike Ascension. But the 10-year anniversary one, they have this... The art style can only be described as Uncanny Valley.
Yeah.
Right? Kind of like in the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Or not Sonic, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie.
Oh.
When they go to the Uncanny Valley.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah. That's how all the art in this one looks. And so I think a new edition, right? They, in the 10-year anniversary, included the market expansion there on the side. And maybe, it's been 10 years, maybe throw in a new little expansion, kind of like with the super premium Mega Deluxe edition of Valley of the Kings that Eric talked about earlier. Just throw something in to sweeten the pot a little bit. And just give this game a little bit more grandeur to its look than that. I'm not asking for a lot.
Not asking for much
keep the
here.
giant, chunky wooden tokens?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
If you want to go Kickstarter ridiculous, you could have the giant wooden tokens, or you could have like giant miniatures, sun-dropped that you pass around.
Or screen printed. I do like screen printing.
Screen printed meeples. That'd be the way to go, actually. There you go. My number 8, St. Petersburg.
All right, my number 7, that's what I'm on, right? I can count backwards, is Paladins of the West Kingdom.
This one shocks me.
This what?
This one shocks me. Like, what? I need to know, what is your...
What do I need upgraded on this?
Yes.
Okay, so part of what really inspired this is I really do want this to come out again because this is my favorite of all of the Shem Phillipsy games. And like, yes, they're fine wooden components right there, but I would like to see screen printing on meeples. I would like to see recessed boards. I would like to see buildings that are little miniatures that you can paint, that you can make look nice, that you can, you know what I mean? Like, I think that there's so much you could do with this board and all those cool pieces on there. Like, they're wood, that's great, but I just want to see more. I want to see more deluxe. I want it to just really feel like an awesome, cool tactile game. Do you agree? I'm waiting. This is the epic moment.
Eric?
I mean, I'm not going to disagree. Sure, tactile is good.
I love the textile nature of board games myself.
You're doing it. Oh, that's so mean. Okay.
Oh, I hope beer doesn't mind. Anyway, this game is nigh perfection as is. Plus, if you make things bigger, how are they going to fit in the box, Wendy?
Well,
how are they going to fit in the box?
The box is just wrong.
It's going to be more boxy. The next box will be more boxy.
It is. It's gonna be a box full. That's for sure.
It's going to be a boxier box, unfortunately.
Yeah, but anyways, this is one that I think would be fabulous to get just like those little bit of upgrades, you know what I mean? That could just really round it out and make it even nicer and get even more people to play a fabulous game.
I wouldn't turn it down.
Okay. Number 6 is mine. This also comes from an extended universe. It's a Freedom and Freeze game, and during this period, he was making games that were sort of pseudo-sequels, thematic sequels to each other, and the one that came in the middle of this dungeon-crawling adventure series that he was doing is Fearsome Floors, or Finister Flura. You are running from a monster. You got little characters that are from a team. They're thematically illustrated to be from a team. There's like an Addams Family knockoff and a Grease knockoff and a Scooby-Doo knockoff. And the tokens flip, so you have a certain amount of movement on one side, certain amount of movement on the other side, and you're trying to get through this column-filled, blood pool-filled room while a monster is chasing you. That monster's going to head toward the closest person. There's all sorts of cool movement rules about how it works, and you're trying to draw the monster toward your opponents while slipping out the back on your own. It's a very fun game, especially when played quickly, but I would love to see maybe a new illustration pass, some new thematic characters. I'm sure there could be a Stranger Things group or something maybe a little more modern, and maybe actual columns, even if they're toothpicks, or something that could fit in the board to make it look like you're weaving your way through stuff.
Those are columns, aren't they?
Yeah, the little squares.
They are.
Wow.
The little intersections are columns to signify what you're running through.
What are the giant squares?
Those are blocks that can be pushed, and the monster can push them and squish people behind them, and you can push them around to block yourselves. Yeah, lots of cool. And you can flip over those things, and they have other abilities like gems and teleportation spaces and all sorts of wacky movement around the board. I think more people would be interested if it had separate it from this arc of a universe and just make it its own monster movie game. I think Finster Fleur or Fearsome Floors could find a new audience. That's my number 6.
It's cool that even with this edition, or with the printing, you never think like, oh yeah, 2F Spiel like screams quality, like deluxe quality or anything. But I did love the little touch that monster doesn't it have like multiple versions of each appendage.
You can build your own monster and make it a slime monster or a Frankenstein monster or some combination of all of it. Yes.
The giant eyeball head you can replace with like a Frankenstein head or whatever. Yeah, I think that's...
Did we play this?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I thought we played this with someone back in Vegas. Long time ago.
It's been a while, and even back then when we played it, it was an older game.
It was. I think the monster wasn't quite holding together anymore very well.
Yeah.
Because all the cardboard pieces got a little loose.
Poor little
I replaced mine with a mini a long time ago, so I've got like a mummy that chases the people around.
Can you pull like the arm sockets off and change the arms out on your mini?
Not on my mini, no. I have to actually swap figurines. So
that would be really cool.
I ruined it.
Just do a nice, simple all-in pledge of Oathsworn so you can customize the miniatures. Pop the arm
just
out.
to stick them in the box of Fearsome Floors. The box is not very boxy. It's only about this thick. So, you can only fit so many minis in there.
You know what? And you could add magnets so that they stay. They don't wear out over time.
There hasn't been enough magnets in our deluxe discussion going on.
That's true.
All right, my number 5 has to have magnets.
It better.
Hansa Teutonica.
I really thought about doing this one, and I was like, they just came out with that like big box edition, which is not very boxy. It's in a very reasonably sized box.
Yeah, okay. So between Istanbul and this one, I think that Pegasus Spiel does the best big box editions of games. They come in rather normal sized boxes, have the expansions folded in there. Nothing too fancy. They didn't reinvent the wheel, but they make really solid workhorse type big boxes. That being said, I wouldn't mind exactly using your words, Eric. Another pass of the artwork here, right? I think people forget that old medieval maps look like this because they are old, that they didn't look like this. The colors have faded. They were more vibrant. They were more lively back when they were being made. And I think that could be a fun way to go about it. Or you could do like what Roxley did, right? With Brass Birmingham and stuff. They made it look nicer than it actually would look like if it was produced at that time, but it has that rustic feel to it. They give it a nice sheen that is above the time period, but still evocative of it. And I think that would be nice. Maybe dual-layer boards, right? Maybe magnetic dual-layer boards. Maybe magnetic triple dual-layer boards. Premium Deluxe Crystals Edition for the player boards and stuff. You don't have to do too much to this. And then maybe make a fourth map or something. I don't know, right? But
I think you really could stick a piece of sheet metal between the 2 layers of cardboard, the top and the bottom layers of cardboard, and then just stick a magnet inside each one of those cubes.
Sure.
Or
Then
the
it's a
bottom
travel
side of each one of
edition.
those cubes. Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
really could magnify.
Yeah.
Travel edition for the back of the car.
Let's play Hansa Teutonica, kids, in the back of the van.
I had a travel edition of Parcheesi as a kid, and they were like basically like that sticky hand material, and that's what our player pieces were. And I don't remember how we rolled dice. Like I just don't remember it all. But I remember
they
the
were
sticky.
also squishy.
Probably.
Throw them on the. I rolled a 6.
They roll down the wall like one of those octopuses. Yeah.
Yeah. I played a lot of Parcheesi in the car one 8-hour road trip with my brother.
More
Pop-O-Matic trouble.
car cheesy. Number 4. Who's up? That's you.
I think
It's me.
Wendy.
I'm number 4. Hey. Okay. My next one is Barron Park. Now this was one of the ones that I was thinking like over the top crazy deluxe version. I'm talking like hills and valleys and rivers, and it was a bit crazy. It would need a massive chest to hold what I was imagining. So dialing that back into a much more reasonable version, I'm really just talking about a fabulous working insert. So the Barron Parts original insert, Chris very kindly put this in the PowerPoint. You see that like weird angle cardboard thing going on in the box? Like, this is the weirdest insert I have ever seen in my life in existence. Is they were just like, you want to put everything in triangles. Is there a single triangle shaped piece? No, but everything is gonna fit in that triangle.
Square goes in. That's right. The
triangle.
triangle.
It is just the insert that has baffled me the most out of anything. And so this game has a bit of a setup because you have to organize the tiles in order and then place them out on the board. And I just think if you just had a deluxe tray, you know what I mean, some nice game trays with lids so that everything stayed put and you could set it out on the board, pull it off if it was all labeled nicely, then you could just play. And if you needed lower player count, you could just reach in each stack and pull the 3 out. You know what I mean? Like, it could just be so nice and not this. So that's what I want.
On the right there is a picture of someone like 3D printed inserts and stuff for it.
Yeah.
And that's a step in the right direction, I think.
Yeah. I mean, look how nicely that stuff fits in there. It really needed something more than what it was when it was given. This game is fabulous.
Cool.
Yeah. That insert got thrown away fast.
Did it?
Well, I don't actually.
I actually think we kept it.
Oh, yeah. It sort of kind of works.
Because it's more organized than just loose chaos in the box.
But only slightly.
Yeah.
Only slightly.
Triangularly. All right.
All right. Moving on to the number 3 slot, which is mine. I am a huge fan of the works of Jerry Hawthorne. Many of his games have been hits in my house. I've played them with my kids. And it's time to go back to the original. Mice and Mystics needs another look. I love Mice and Mystics. It is a wonderful adventure. The story is fantastic. My kids and I loved working our way through this, but it shows its age. It's got a little pointy bits to the rules, and it needs a little fudging to make it all work. And I think Jerry and the team have learned a lot from this game over the course of his subsequent designs, and I think another look at Mice and Mystics would be great. The art, while beautiful, could be brightened up a little bit, made a little more clear. It could use just a little bit of love. I know there are issues with this because I don't think Plaid Hat owns Mice and Mystics anymore. I think it's a Z-Man title, and so it would require some doing to make it happen. But, it deserves it. I love Mice and Mystics and would love to see a 2.0. That's my number 3.
Okay. Yeah. So less just on the production look of it, because I've always found this game very aesthetically beautiful and everything. But you're right; it could also be a touch brighter.
I think tighten it up. Yeah, for me the storyline always just felt like it was very long. Like it's like, let's stop and read a book now. And I wish that it was just a little bit faster, maybe more dialogue, based or something like that, just to make it a little bit quicker.
This would probably be app-based at that point. I think you'd have the
sure.
narration like you see in Forgotten Waters or Wandering Galaxy. That's probably how it would be put together at this
Are
point.
you volunteering?
They know how to reach me.
How do you voice a mouse if your audiobook requires an anthropomorphic talking mouse?
I mean, it depends on who the mouse is. Plus, there's several mice, so I can't just do one mouse. I have to do
How about
several.
that mouse on the front that cat's looking at?
Yeah,
How
Prince,
would
Prince Caspian.
Yes.
It's Colin.
close.
I mean, I would just lighten him up. In fact, he's just a guy. I probably wouldn't make him sound like a mouse. I'd just make him heroic and maybe a little younger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because a mouse would probably be annoying for an entire book.
Yeah. When the protagonist of your book talked like this, you're like, oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm not listening to this one.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to number 2, my last pick here. And this is the one I would love to see the most, and I think doesn't necessarily need the most work to it, but it's Airlines Europe. I think that this is a wonderful game. It holds up. I still play this with my family almost every time I visit Vegas. And I think touching up the art a little bit, right? I see why it looks dated. It looks old. There's a little bit of usability issue with the red and the orange
The
airplanes.
yellow and the orange.
Something
Yellow and orange cards.
yellow and orange cards, but then the actual plastic
Red and
sculpts
orange.
for red and orange.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's some more clear ability, clarification of those. I think that the paper money can go burn in a dumpster. And then
Yeah, you want nice poker chips.
oh yeah, that'd be amazing, right? And then also the stocks, the shares that you get in these different companies that you're investing in are all allusions to old companies that Alan Moon, the designer, has published games with, several of whom do not exist anymore. I think those could be updated a little bit, cute little winks and nods and stuff here and there. But I think that this game could look gorgeous, give this the Brass Birmingham treatment. And I could see this one doing very well because I think it's Alan Moon's best designed game.
Would you want a darker nighttime board, or would you want to keep the daytime
Oh no,
Greenland?
bright, the aviator kind of look, right? Like that very optimistic. Kids, it's the future of travel today. That kind of look, right?
Oh,
This
yeah,
is
this is
funny.
a good one.
It's funny because in my mind, Airlines Europe is already a glow up for Union Pacific,
Oh yeah.
which was even more stark and not very bright and very railroady, staunch, and this sort of brightened it up. And so in my head, it's already been taken care of. But I agree, you could probably go a couple more notches forward.
Yeah, I think so.
And I would want to keep the airplanes though, because those are super cute.
Yeah, and maybe if you were going fancy, you could have different sculpts, but all in that same style.
Oh, so each company has a different sculpt?
Yeah, each color. And that would also help clarify between red, orange, that type of
That's
stuff.
true. That would be
For
more
player
colorful.
colors, yeah.
Yeah, I like this.
All right.
Alrighty,
Number
number one pick. Okay, so I have this crazy idea to have a life-size comic hunter with real comics. Wow, that would be really intense. But it just seems like Comic Hunters was the winner on this. There's also a deluxeified version of Comic Hunters. It doesn't include real comic convention. The comic convention comes with the game. So then you have to,
It's just the San Diego Comic-Con Gold Deluxe Edition.
Yeah, exactly. But I think in general, Comic Hunters is just one of those games that it came in English, and we're very happy that we got an English version of it. But it needs love. It needs a nice deluxe version. I definitely agree with the chat.
It's a Spin Master production on it.
Yeah.
It's still a phenomenal game. Dice Tower Central for a reason. So I still think is worth picking up, hands down.
But acrylic, acrylic tokens, nicer cards, all that kind of stuff would be fabulous.
I can see a convention doing this. You probably wouldn't be able to do it with the actual comics because if you collected all of those comics, it would be a lot, though a lot of them are expensive and classic. But with proxies and at a convention in a hallway or in a room somewhere that had some space, you could probably do a comic-sized Comic Hunters and lay out the convention space on the floor, and you have to slide things around. And I could see it happen. Someone's working on it.
You know, you could even just print out like the covers of the comics and stick them in like the sleeve protectors.
Yeah. If you want to be a big old phony about it.
Well, I don't have millions of dollars to spend on one game.
You still have to make them basically decks too. So
Yeah.
Put the icons on them.
Stacks on stacks. All right, folks, there's our top 10 for the week. Let's jump to some more contributors, and then we'll end with our old school game.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, we are Ryan and Bethany.
From Ryan Bethany Board Game Reviews.
All right, today we're talking about Flip 7. This is the kind of a party-style card game where basically in this deck you have 12 12s, 11 11s, 8 8s, 3 3s. All right, the cards represent points. And what's going to happen is you're going to be able to, kind of like blackjack, be able to take a hit. And so you have a card in front of you and you say, hit me. And you keep on taking cards as often as you want. But the higher point cards there's more of them in the deck. So if you have a situation where you have like a 12, an 11, a 10, the chances of you getting more 12s, 11s, or 10s are really high. If you ever match up and you have two of the same number, you bust, you get no points for that round. There are also special abilities, special actions in the game, and also point modifiers that can help you out as well. So it's a very silly, very fast-paced card game. Just trying not to bust, trying to get two of the same number.
The special ability cards is kind of what makes this game. They are very funny when they come out. You might think you're doing really well, and you're like, I'm going to try one more. And then there's this card that comes out that makes you draw 3 cards, and you have to take it. And you're like, but I was doing so well.
I just wanted one more.
Or it's your turn to play, and you haven't had any cards yet, and the first card you get is like a hard stop. You're done with this round. And you're like, but I didn't do anything. And so I just think that makes the game really fun and really fun to watch and really fun to participate in.
This is the kind of game that works really, really well for extended families, big group gatherings. The box says it plays like unlimited players. It says 3 plus. No, it says 3 to 10, 3 to 12, and it says 3 plus. It actually says in the rule book, if you're playing with more than 18, just add a second deck. It's like, holy smokes, that's like a lot of people. But the fact is, it's so fast that it can accommodate that without too much downtime. And because it's kind of a silly spectator thing, it's okay. Even across the table, if you're playing with a ton of people and it's not your turn, you can still laugh at their misfortune. Card counting is encouraged. You can definitely count how many cards are in the deck.
If you're able to do that.
Yeah, if you're able to, because you want to know what the probability of you drawing another 5 is, because you've seen a bunch of 5s happen already. So you feel like another one's safe. But not always.
Everybody, if you want to hear more from Ryan and I, you can find us over on YouTube. We are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. Everybody, this is Ryan. I'm Bethany, hoping you have a happy, healthy breakfast.
Bye, everybody.
Guys.
I have too many games and not enough space. I'm trying to keep good games and get rid of the trash ones.
I tested hundreds of board games, and here's what I found out.
Pop the pig, keep pressing his head until his belly pops. Trash. Gobble monster, keep putting toys on his tongue. Jumps out and scares you, and it's done. It's trash. This one, you're just hanging things on a tree, and it'll pop out, and Olaf's in there. Yeah, this one's a junk toy. Orangutan, keep putting stuff on a clothesline where a monkey's hanging, and if you do enough and it's too much weight, it pops. This game has never fit inside the box. Hot tub high dive. Hey, keep pressing a button. Have a guy go to the top, and then he'll fall off, and then some foam will get shot in your face, and then oh, so funny. If I could keep one jump scare game, it would be this one. The reason being, it comes with its own soundtrack as you're playing the game. You're lifting a leaf really carefully, trying to reach in there with some pliers, trying to steal his eggs. The dinosaur jumps down, and it scares my kids every single time. Always catches them off guard. This is a good one. This one I thought would be cool. I should have paid attention to the sand more on the box, and that stuff gets everywhere.
I don't like sand.
If you buy this, you will have it everywhere. If there's a giant hole in the box, this is the sign that the developers are giving you saying, hey, please don't buy this. Why would you put little spaghetti pieces that could fall out of a hole in a box with a gigantic hole?
Somebody touch my spaghetti!
If you love finding marbles all over your house, then play Hungry Hungry Hippos. Who knows why they put a giant hole in the game? Maybe it was to lose all the marbles, and that's exactly what it does. Thanks, Hasbro Gaming! Ha ha! Ants in the pants. Snakes and ladders. Trash. What do you get when you combine foosball and basketball? Trash!
What we do here is go back.
For the old school game today, we're taking a look at a beaut. Just an actual gem that one Eric Summerer had not played until just this last week.
No. And you kindly invited me to play a game of Farkle on Board Game Arena. This looks a lot prettier than the version we played on Board Game Arena, which is a pretty bare bones presentation, because I don't think Farkle has existed in a lot of different editions and cultural editions around. It's just something you can play with a bunch of dice, so it's been passed down. You don't necessarily need the published edition of Farkle to play it. So I think the version that's on Board Game Arena is just boxy dice, and this looks a lot prettier.
It's very public domain.
I played this so much as a kid. Like, I grew up with this. We had a little china cabinet that had one of those like glass, like fancy diner malt cups kind of thing. We had one of those that was just chock full of dice, and we would say, "Hey, should we play the dice game tonight?" And we'd pull out that. I didn't even know it was called Farkle for years. It was just the dice game, and everyone would get their own little set of dice, and we would just go around the table. We'd play Farkle and we played at 10,000 points. We played a long game.
Ooh.
And it just was, I don't know, it's just what I grew up with. It was fun.
Oh, that was Froggy Farkle right there.
Froggy Farkle.
Wow, yeah.
Are those ones or are those sixes?
Looks like
they look like ones.
The ones.
Look like ones. Okay. Because they didn't do anything special with the fives. The fives are special too.
That's true. The ones and the fives. Yeah.
They should have had tadpoles. That would have been cute.
Yeah. Classic push your luck dice game. Roll 6 dice, and then ones and fives are worth 150 points respectively, and then triples and more are worth their respective hundreds of points. So triple fours, 400 points, and you can bank them or you can stop. And then if you use up all 6 dice, you get to grab all 6 again and roll them. You know what? I like this one so much. This has a 5.6 on Board Game Geek. That's a surprisingly low rating, I think, for what is an incredibly competent, albeit simple, push your luck game. Right? Like zombie dice is not, there's a little bit more of a game to it than
there's more
this.
Theme.
Yeah. I mean, I think it is very simple. I think the fact that it's just standard dice is maybe why it gets knocked down, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it. You roll all the dice, and there was even, at least the version on Board Game Arena, if you get nothing that scores, that's points as well. So you always have something that you can do on your first roll. And then it's the decision afterward. Do I take that mediocre amount of points, or do I push my luck and try and earn more? And I was sort of, mid-level on this until our final turn. We were going to talk about our in-progress game this morning until I took my last turn this morning. I scored, I think, like a couple of 1s and a 5, decided to push my luck, got all 1s and 5s on my second roll. So all 6 dice, which means I get to go again, rolled again, got a straight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in one roll, scored immediately, and then got like a couple of 1s. So as far as Board Game Arena went, I went from I'll push my luck to go again, oh, and you win. And I'm like, okay, I guess I win now. And the game was over for me. And then I think you both got one more turn and weren't able to defeat me. So I'm the champion.
I couldn't defeat that. But I also had an extremely epic last turn where I got to roll all the dice like 3 times.
Oh.
You just busted right at the end.
I just busted at the very end. There were 2 dice left, and I was like, I have to do it because I'm not beating Eric. So, yeah. But I had
I do like push your luck games that give you that final roll. The someone has crossed the threshold, and now everybody gets one more epic chance to just push your luck all the way, and maybe they do it. And that's pretty exciting to do.
I do love that, yeah, because even when you're the person who crossed the threshold, you're like, okay, but have I crossed it enough?
Yes.
Should I go a little bit further?
Do I need to push farther? Yeah.
Yeah. I think Farkle does all those things really competently, and if you have 6 dice in your house, you can play this game.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot to be said about that, right? It's even simpler than a standard deck of playing cards. So, I don't know. I would give Farkle, personally, like, I might give it like an 8. I really like it.
Huh?
And not to mention that there's so many like little variations and house rules. I've never seen the rule before that you said Board Game Arena has. If you roll garbage on your first roll, that's like 1,000 points.
Oh, is it really?
I didn't see it was that much.
Or it was like 500 or something like that. It was like a
It's
good amount of points for rolling nothing
for
scoreable.
nothing.
Yeah.
Huh.
I've not seen that variation of the rules before.
That's cool.
So, yeah. I like it a lot. I don't know about you. You grew up playing it incessantly.
I grew up playing it. I haven't played it in years. My family moved to the house rule where whatever dice you leave left over, the next player can either choose to roll all the dice or pick up from your score and roll like that last die you left.
Oh, wow.
And so created crazy swings, and I honestly didn't like that version, so I stopped enjoying it, I think, because of that.
Like it.
But it was fun to pull it back out. So, you know, it would be at least a 7 for me. Yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah. Don't know if you have closing.
And that's still higher than the average. So I would certainly go again. I put it on the same level as, say, Skunk as a push your luck dice game.
All right. Well, there you go. Well, folks, that's breakfast today. Our discussion of Farkle, the new hotness that everyone's clamoring for a second deluxe edition of. Frog Farkle.
Yes.
With tadpoles.
Giant dice.
Giant dice, and what do you call them?
Giant
Moon rocks?
sticky dice.
Oh,
Oh, your hair gets stuck to them
Magnetic
and all the
dice.
lint in the world.
I wash my hands of this mess.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us today. I'm Wendy Yi.
I'm Chris Yi.
And I'm Eric Summerer.
All right. Go Deluxify your games.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.